Today for social studies, I wanted to share with you a Scholastic News article. This is what I have for actually in the classroom, but I'm going to share with you online because that is what we are doing right now. And yesterday, you know that we were not in school because yesterday was a federal holiday. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And this is a federal holiday that's observed each year. And we observe this holiday on the third Monday in January. And something else that everybody might not know is it's a day on, not a day off. And let me tell you a little bit about what that means. So, this federal holiday is actually one of the only ones that's designated as a National Day of Service. And they do that to encourage all Americans to volunteer to improve their communities. And while this day was yesterday, I hope that you can still be encouraged to treat the today or the rest of the week as an act of service and to volunteer in your neighborhood or even around your house and to continue to improve your community, which is not a new word to us. But yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which was a holiday, and I do want to talk a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. But we're going to look at both him and his granddaughter, and just from a different perspective, is from his granddaughter's perspective. And the title of this news article is A Hero in the Family. It says, this is Yolanda Renee King. Her grandfather was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a hero. What does it mean to be a hero? Her grandfather was a hero. Yolanda never met her grandfather. He died in 1968, before she was born, but she knows he was a hero. When Dr. King was alive, some parts of our country had cruel laws. The laws said that black people and white people had to go to separate schools, parks, and other places. The schools and parks for black people were often old, dirty, and run down. The ones for white people were much nicer. This was called segregation. And we know that this is an important word right here because it's bolded and highlighted. This was called segregation. Dr. King worked to change it. This was her grandfather. A hero is peaceful. Dr. King didn't use his fists. He used his words. He gave speeches where he spoke in front of thousands of people. He said that everyone deserved to be treated well. He said that he had hope that things could change. He went on marches. He walked with big groups of people to show that they thought the laws were wrong. He changed people's minds. He made them think, are these laws really fair? A hero is brave. Many people didn't want the laws to change. They were angry with Dr. King. They tried to hurt him and his family. That was scary. Sometimes he got arrested and went to jail. That was scary too. But Dr. King was brave. He didn't let the angry people stop him. He kept working. He knew he was doing what was right. A hero works with others. Dr. King didn't give speeches or go on marches alone. He worked with many other people. Dr. King inspired people. He made them feel brave and strong. He made them believe they could make a change. It can be hard for one person to change the world on his or her own. But when thousands of people work together, they can make a big difference. A hero doesn't give up. When Dr. King got one unfair law changed, his work still wasn't done. He would just start working to change the next unfair law. Dr. King spent his whole life trying to make the world a better place. He helped change many cruel laws. He was a hero. Thank you, Dr. King. I'm sure that when you heard me read some of this, about laws that said that black people and white people had to go to separate schools and parks and other places, you probably found that very confusing, and because you thought to yourself, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. And you're right, that doesn't make any sense. You know that that's not right. You know that that's wrong. You know that that's not how we treat people. And that is how Dr. King wants people to continue to live today. He wants people to live in a world where there aren't laws like that, where people aren't treating others because somebody is different, so they treat them in a cruel way. That's why his federal holiday is designated as a day of service, to encourage others, to encourage Americans to make the world around them a better place. Because the world, when he was alive, was hard and tough. It was hard on him, but he did so much to try to make it better for others who came after him. And while he is no longer here, he finally had his federal holiday signed into law in 1983, and it was celebrated 3 years later in 1986. All 50 states in the US made it a state government holiday by the year 2000. And that is something that we celebrate every January, the third Monday in January. I will try to attach this to see if you can maybe listen to this on your own. I'm going to also encourage you to search for him on Epic. There are so many books about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Epic. And so I'm going to encourage that you search and read more, find out more. There's so much information, so many nonfiction books. There's so much to learn and read about, and he inspired so many people.